Hi. So we are going to go over the survey system, which is a tool that we've had around for a while and continually upgraded it, upgraded. And then it's such an interesting tool that we've actually, with most of our tools, what we do is we just upgrade. Um, and with this one, we've actually continued to rework it just because of the evolving nature of what people need, being different on a regular basis, and then what software can do as browsers get more mature and the internet technologies get more capable of doing things. So right now, what we are working on, or not much working, that word, what we've done is we've created our latest survey system, and it has the typical online version, but it also has an offline version. This allows you to use something like an iPad or an Android to you basically bookmark the survey, and then you can take your tablet offline and you can go walk around on the street and ask people questions. And as you ask them questions, you can enter it into your iPad or your Android tablet as if you were connected. It just continues to work. So it's kind of like a little mini application. And when you are done walking around and this sort of stuff, and then you walk back to your office or your home or someplace where you have internet connection, you are then able to upload all that responses that you got from people on the street that you were bugging, right? Or they could be really good for it. They could be really happy to talk to you. I'm sometimes in the mood, sometimes not in the mood to talk to people that have questions for me on the street, for like surveys and things. All right, so we have offline and online. Okay, now the typical online, right? And actually, they're both function relatively the exact same way, just a few small differences here and there. Um, but what we try to do is only have you asking relevant questions, right? So if you ask all the questions and then like if someone says no, I'm not interested in the color blue, but then you have a whole bunch of things about blue, like water and blue eyes and stuff like that, then you're not really paying attention. Our software gives you the ability to sort of more or less pay attention. If they say they are not interested in blue, then it's not going to ask any blue relevant questions. So that keeps the people more focused, right? And you're getting more quality results with the people themselves having to answer less questions because it's not relevant to what they're doing. If they say they're not interested in a Toyota, then don't ask Toyota questions. If they say they are interested in Toyota, then by all means ask Toyota questions. Ask some examples of things. Okay, so we're going to say yes, we have some time. And if you noticed, more questions popped up, right? And then you have other questions, right? And if the answer is no, I've actually had, which basically implies that you've been to more than one cops or cancer event, then you can do it. It's going to show you some more questions. It's going to ask for how many years, all right? So now let's see how we can set these things up. Actually, one more thing I'm going to do before we go back is to show you a little more capabilities of the system. And what this does is it gives you the kind of touches on the real what's really nice about our system is that we are able to work with a lot of different systems. We integrate really well and very quickly and easily. And so here you can see we've integrated with YouTube videos. And so as you can put those, like rather than actually write out the question, just put a YouTube video inside there and actually ask the question. And which adds a nice a really different dynamic to things. And, these days creating a video is relatively simple. It's most people have the technology, and most digital cameras these days can take video as well as most telephones can take video. So video editing software comes by default on the Macintosh and probably on most Windows machines. It's from a main vendor, be my guess. And it's also relatively available for all different flavors. Okay, and so you can see here as you answer questions, they are showing you more and more videos. But as you're going through the videos, you're still recording the data of what they're looking at. So you can actually record these sort of things. So it's pretty interesting stuff, what you can do with the system. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the back end. right? And now we have already logged into the CRM, and since we're inside the CRM, let's go ahead and go to the Survey Manager, which is under the eBlaster Survey list, and Manage Surveys. Fairly standard menu. You link to reports and preview it, and then of course the editor. And then when you've gotten done using you can come over here and hide the menu or hide that option so you don't have to look at that survey anymore. We don't really delete them from the system. I believe there's a button here someplace that allows you to see all the hidden menus, and if there's not, then we can add one. For now, let's go ahead and go to the edit. So now you can see here, it's a fairly standard form, survey name, description, and then here you have an option for allow multiple posts. Now the allow multiple posts would cause someone, now our system also, at least at present, is designed for working with your CRM, right? So if someone's answering a survey, it's not just anybody, it's actually people that you have a relationship with, or potentially will have a relationship with. We do have an upgrade that we can do. It's actually an option, basically a configuration option that allows you to disable the required logins. So, and then anybody can just go up there and answer it. But most of our clients are of that nature. But if you are, well, it's just a configuration option you can change. But by default, our clients typically want to track all the data of who's giving us that information, so they can maintain their relationship with them. So anyhow, so there's that, and then this allows multiple posts, and this allowing multiple posts is normally for data entry people. And so if you have printed out a survey on a piece of paper and distributed it all over the place and gotten those pieces of the paper back, then you're going to have someone doing data entry. And so that's the option. Now, if you had used the iPads or the Android tablets instead of paper, well, then you wouldn't have to do this step. But paper does still have its uses for sure. All right. So here you can see these are the survey questions. Now, when you want to add a new question, all you have to do is click these little boxes, right? And these are the different types of questions. There's a select, which is a drop-down list, just a list of possible answers. Checkbox, which is a list of possible answers, each with a checkbox. This means you can have multiple responses. How did you hear about it? And they could say, well, I heard about you on this radio station, and that magazine, and on that website, and from my friend. And then you can also always put the word other. Now, what's nice about us, if you put the word other, then you can then say, hey, we'll provide some details, please, and a little text area can pop up, right? And that text area, which looks like this, allows you to gather just information that you don't have in easily categorized right now. Okay, so that's select and checkboxes. Radios they look more like a checkbox, except they're a radio, which means you can only select one of the options. It's similar functionality to a select, but you can only select one option inside there. But like a checkbox or the radio, you can actually have action items based on each of their selections. Okay. Now, the text box is a thinner one. It looks like this, just one line, versus the text area is many lines. The text box can handle up to 255 characters, and the text area can handle a small novel. Okay, and then we also have a date field. It's not used too often, but when you need to actually capture dates, then this will capture it correctly. And what's nice about capturing the dates correctly is that then you can actually run reports based on that date information that you have. Another thing too are numbers. So if you can say it like it's different than a text box, you actually are requiring people to enter in a real number. We don't limit it to integers or floats. It can be an integer or a float or a decimal or whatever have you. As long as it's a properly, even scientific notation. As long as it's a proper number, the system will accept it. If it's not, then it's going to reject it. And then there's just messages, which aren't exactly questions. They're just like, if you answered yes, and let's say, do you have 5 minutes to answer a few questions? They say no. Oh, well, you can put inside there a message saying, well, thanks for your time, have a lovely day, and then they're done, right? And that's the different types of questions. Here you can see these things called sub-questions. Now, when you add an option, right, say add option, that sub-questions will not appear until it's been saved. Now this has already been saved up here, so you can then click on these to view the sub-questions, right? So this brings you to the sub-questions. And up here, it's going to give you like the name of the survey, what question you just clicked on, and what answer for that question, okay? And so this can be quite lengthy because as you, if you want a lengthy, in-depth survey, this system will just keep on adding questions and questions and sub-questions and sub-questions. We've had clients get quite ambitious with it. Here you can see this thing says has sub-levels. This tells you that there's something already down here, but this one doesn't have any, but you can still add some more if you wanted to. There's this extra info field, and the extra info field creates a little question mark. Let's see if I can get it right there like that. A little actually information mark. That as a person mouses over it, it tells them a little bit about the about this note or about this question. So that's what the extra info does. Just make a little bubble. And position. And this is the order that the questions are going to appear on your page. If you want to change the position, for instance, of these two, you would change that to a 1 and then that to a 2 and then save the survey. And then they would swap position. Now, when you delete an answer or delete a question, we don't actually delete it. We actually just disable it so it's not going to show up on the survey inside this manager. But it's effectively gone. But we do actually, if you ever have an accident where you want to delete, and then of course after the delete you said, sure, I can delete it, you messed up twice in a row, which is unlikely, but does happen occasionally. We can undelete it for you if you wanted us to. Alright, and that's more or less it. I mean, let's go over some reports. Let's go to show surveys. And some data inside there. Report. Okay. Now the basic report just shows the person, right? And then view answers. Very straightforward. Gives you a lot of detail, which is what a lot of people are wanting, is a lot of detail. But we also, of course, have the more generalized aggregated data. So here it just goes through and lists out each question, each answer beneath the question, and it indents it, and then makes these boxes around these things so that it's properly grouped. And that's it. Okay, it's going to give you it also gives you the count of the responses. You can see this has not been a popular survey. Okay, and export. The export option exports all the data in an SQL script, and that allows your IT people to then just load that into a local database that you can then use something like Crystal Reports or Tableau or any of the other business intelligence tools that excel at generating all these beautiful reports and graphs and that sort of thing. And that's pretty much it. Great, sure, good. Yep, that's everything. If you have questions, please give us an email at support@dwalliance.com. Thank you very much.